Hi everyone, and welcome to our latest in our series of Meet the MDs. And today I'm delighted to be joined by the MD of Oceania, Mr. Bernie Carter. Hiya Bernie, good morning to you. How are you?
Yeah, hi James, hi everybody. I'm great, thank you. Things are starting to look up, getting very busy.
Great, fantastic. Yeah, things are definitely moving in the right direction, Bernie. Perhaps sometimes it's two steps forward and one back. You know, it's a moving feast, isn't it? But the momentum's definitely with us, which is great news.
Absolutely. And
So,
furthermore, actually, from the news just yesterday, that the government has changed the advice on cruising. And, you know, we've been fighting for it for a long time. And we've done more than any other industry to make traveling safe on our ships. So to see that come through from the government is a very welcome move.
it is, and there's been, like you said, there's been loads of work done behind the scenes by all the cruise lines and Clear and various other industry bodies just to try and get cruising restarted when it's safe to do so. And I think the overriding message I've had from cruise lines, including Oceania, is that you will restart cruising when it's safe to do so and when the enjoyment factor is as good as it was before. So, it's great to see cruising restarting, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a second, about some specifics from Oceania. But first of all, Bernie, we've known each other for a while, haven't we? I think probably over a decade now. And we've had some interesting times together, which it'd be remiss of me not to mention playing some golf at the Belfry, and me turning around and seeing you doing backstroke in a stream. That was probably the highlight of our relationship so far.
The funny thing with that was obviously the expansion of that story is that it was a stream that actually came up to my waist, but I'd slipped on this wooden piling and actually managed to cut myself in the process. So the next thing was you taking me off to the local A&E, and we finished our meeting and our day with me having stitches and you asking me more questions.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm glad you were all right after that, to be honest. But it was funny at the time, definitely. Seeing you turning around and seeing you doing backstroke. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on. Oceania, so relatively new cruise line in the grand scheme of things, launched in 2002 by Frank Del Rio and his team. Frank now's the head of Norwegian Cruise Lines region and Oceania. But Frank started that cruise line with a very modest budget, just a few $1 million, which is nothing to start a cruise line with. A very small team, Bernie. But Oceania, just how have things gone over the last 18 years, to get Oceania to where it is now?
It's been an amazing journey, I have to say. I joined in 2005 when it was just 3 years in, and just before Nautica arrived, actually. And it's the biggest thing is that it's a real journey, and the whole ethos of Oceania is about family. And I think Frank has led the way with that from the very start. And it's not just family as in the people that work within the office, it's family as in the people on board the ships, whether they be crew or guests. So it's funny when you watch the social media now, because of course we didn't have social media when it started. We were just a little fledgling operation, and now when you follow it, you can see people want to be part of that story. And I think that when you look back in the early days, in particular, the odds were stacked against Frank. He came out and started doing small ship cruising in the upper premium sector of the market when nobody else was doing that. His counterparts in Miami were saying, you need to be building bigger ships. You need to go for economies of scale. But Frank stuck by his guns, and he brought in some very key people that he'd met over the years. Robin Lindsay, Franco Semeraro, Bob Binder, Joe Waters, and through their vision and their hard work and their diligence, they managed to build something very special. And even in the early days, the service levels were exceptional. The cuisine was streets ahead of anything else. And they've just sought to improve and enhance upon that over the past 18 years. And seriously, I'm proud and privileged to actually be part of that journey.
Great, fantastic. No, it really is a fantastic success story for cruising, and great testament to the team at Oceania for what you've achieved, like I say, over a relatively short space of time in the world of cruising. Now, you mentioned one thing, and I know we're both passionate about this subject, which is food. And Oceania, really specialise in, providing exceptional cuisine in a great atmosphere as well, and providing fantastic service. So, I've been on Oceania several times, Bernie. You've talked to me about food on many occasions. Just give us a little bit of a flavour of what people can expect on board.
I think the main thing with Oceania and the cuisine is we take the best ingredients that money can buy. For instance, our flour comes from Beauce in Normandy. Our lamb comes from a farm in Colorado. Our lobster, we're the only customer for a lobster farm in Maine. And we also get the best local ingredients as well, so we can deliver authentic cuisine, authentic flavor. Then you pair that with Michelin quality chefs and a team with such imagination, and we're always coming out with something new. And it's been a real quest for them during the lockdown period, because they wanted to come up with exciting new dishes, a whole new range of recipes. And some of the things I've seen that are coming out have actually made my mouth water just reading about them. So I think the best thing to say to people is expect to be excited, tantalized, expect to really enjoy the experience. Me personally, I normally take on 2 sizes of trousers when I go. There's the first size that I start the cruise with, and the second that I finish the cruise with. And I only ever go for a maximum of 14 nights. There's not a world cruise that I'm doing. But the food is just so good. I can't say no, morning, noon, and night.
And is the miso glazed sea bass still one of your favourites, Bernie?
Oh, it is. It is. It's funny because everyone knows that I love my steak, and the steak is something to rave about at Oceania. You can even cut it with a butter knife. But the miso glazed sea bass, when that came along with the advent of the O-class ships, Marina and Riviera, it was a revelation. This dish, served in red ginger, is something else. It's a Chilean sea bass, so it's thicker, meatier than the Mediterranean sea bass. It's baked in an oven at about 350 degrees for about 12 minutes. It's got this yuzu miso glaze over the top, and it comes with a little chunk of lime, a little piece of lime that you need to squeeze over the top. And then you've got this difference between, you've got the succulence of the fish and then the differential between the sweet and the sour. And it's almost like the miso glaze is almost like a toffee consistency. It's a nice smooth, but then it's also got this cutting edge of the lime. It's just something else. And you literally use your chopsticks, peel it off piece by piece. And it's like, I could eat buckets of that.
Okay, I think we need to stop talking about food now, Bernie, because I'm really hungry anyway. So let's move on to the restart of cruising. So obviously, cruise lines have put a huge amount of thought and a huge investment as well into restarting of cruising. Talk us through a little bit about what Oceania have been doing to have a safe restart of cruising.
Okay, so obviously this work started way back when we first stopped cruising, and Oceania, as part of the NCLH group, teamed up with the Royal Group, and we worked on this healthy sail panel with medical experts, people who have been part of the FDA and WHO and everything else, and they were able to guide us on the sort of thing we would need to do. So we worked together, and it was an amazing collaboration. And once we had the findings, the collective findings, we then went away individually and implemented those. Now, one of the interesting things there is on the airflow system. We have a one-way airflow system. It comes in, it goes out. It's not recirculated. But in addition to that, we've added the medical grade HEPA filters, which catch the antigens. It catches virtually all antigens, including the COVID. In addition to that, we've teamed up with a company where behind the scenes in that airflow system, we have an air cleaning system as well. So the air is cleaned every 30 minutes. So when you look at the measures that are being taken behind the scenes, it won't impact on the experience. And in fact, it makes the air cleaner. So it actually enhances that side of the experience. When it comes to what you can expect on board, obviously, when we return, we're coming back from the 29th of August in Copenhagen. So we'll be following European restrictions. At present, that means the wearing of masks as you're walking around, but you don't need to when you're sat down. Again, in the US, those restrictions aren't in place. So when we return in the US, if it remains the same, then you won't need to wear masks. Because critically, and this is a real thing for us, is that we are asking that everybody, both guests and crew, are double vaccinated. So we have a fully vaccinated ship. Now, obviously, we know these days you do have the opportunity for vaccinated people to catch maybe. So we do have testing in place before people come on board, testing for debarkation. But we feel that the measures we've taken allow for meeting with regulations, both local and global, at the same time as offering us close to the signature Oceania Cruises experience. And when it comes to service levels, the great thing now, we'd started already in 2019 with the waiting staff using tablets. And that means they literally come to your table, they take your order, and then it's wired straight through to the restaurant. So there's this less traffic of wait staff going to and fro. And that's something that we'll be bringing on full force when we start. In addition to that, online check-in. So we'll have the opportunity for everyone to check in like they do for airline flights. They can do it online in advance, provide all the key information. And then the process itself, when it comes to checking in, means that it's that much smoother. Everyone comes in certain time slots. They choose a slot they want to come in on. And it is much smoother. And as well, one thing I'm really pleased about is the doors on all the cabins. Every single cabin on every single ship in our fleet is now a touchless technology. So you hold your key up in front of it, the door will open. So again, it's all of these things. These are just a few. I could do a 2-hour session on all of the things that we've done. But I think these, along with the culinary enhancements, are a few of the key ones.
Great. No, it sounds very, very comprehensive, Bernie. And I think, that's why Frank has obviously had the confidence to say that cruising is a cruise ship is the safest place in the world to be. And some of the things that you've just outlined, endorse why he's said that remark. So, but as well as being safe, what about the enjoyment factor? So you've touched a little bit on things. You've mentioned masks on board, but what other things may people perceive will impinge their enjoyment? And is that actually a reality, that people will have as good a time on board as they have previously?
Yeah, I think there's something of an understanding. So we know that the people, for instance, that have remained booked for 2021, those that are traveling with us on Marina from 29 August, on Riviera from the 18th of September, and from our other ships as they continue to return, they're a hardy lot, a hardy bunch, and they know that it's an expectation that there is a world out there that's different from the one we used to be in. So I think that the main thing here is there is an understanding among our guests that things might not be exactly the same, but our ethic and our work is to get as close to that as possible. So when it comes to sitting in the restaurants, sitting in the open areas, sitting in the bars, there shouldn't be too much of a difference. In fact, in some areas, some cases, we might actually enhance the offering. So instead of having nuts and bar snacks and things like that, we might come along with hot canapes, which are taken one by one. So these are things that we're looking at various enhancements that we can bring to the experience that will leave people with the feeling that, well, this is the Oceania that I know and love.
Yeah, and I think cruising in general has got a fantastic record of innovation and taking things to a different level. And you know, I've had feedback off numerous customers that have already travelled internationally as well. So they've done the flight, they've done the transfer, and the feedback's been unbelievable. You know, they really are having a fantastic time on board, because cruise lines are going above and beyond and taking their products to that next level, and thinking things through differently, like you've just outlined there. So yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on there, Bernie. So just moving on to why should someone book now? Why not wait a little bit? Why not wait till Oceania starts sailing in the next couple of months and see how it goes before I make a booking? You know, why should someone take that step now to get something in the diary, something to look forward to?
I think the critical thing here, James, is that we've seen an amazing return in bookings from July of last year, actually, I have to say. And I know that everyone out there is saying, yes, we're selling well, but we are that well sold that if anybody waits now to book for a 2022 sailing in particular, they're going to find it hard to get what they want. It's amazing when you see the return that we've had. The number of people that went for future cruise credits instead of taking a refund, they've now actioned those. We have a great deal of business on the books. And again, we have a fully refundable deposit. We have our best price guarantee. Not that I'm expecting prices to come down at all, because we're increasing our pricing as well. We're actually starting to get back towards where our pricing should be and where it was in 2019. Because when the world came back after this pandemic, or after we were allowed to come back and start selling, we obviously came back with pricing that was conducive to the marketplace, and we wanted to get the demand and the interest. But as a business, we owe it to our guests, actually, as much as anything else, to get back to that price level, so that we continue investing the amount of money that we do invest into the business to bring it even further up. So my feeling now is that if you want to travel in 2022, and I think it's not just with us, it's across the board, the cruise industry is coming back. And if you've got something specific you want to do, then you need to get it booked.
Okay, that's great advice, Bernie. And again, the good thing is you do have other things in place as well, to encourage people and to give people confidence to put down your price guarantee, for example. So, again, another example of where cruise lines have thought things through and innovated, and thought about the customer and what the customers might be feeling at this difficult period.
Yeah.
So finally, Bernie, let's just have a chat about that. Isn't basically, if people have been thinking that's Bernie's house in the background, sadly it isn't. Bernie's house is actually bigger than that, but it's actually the new ship Vista, correct, Bernie? So talk us through a little bit about your new ship.
Yeah, we're really excited, so excited at Oceania to have our third generation, the Allura class, and Vista is the first of these. The thing about Oceania, there's been an evolution over the decades, and the entry of the Allura class is something very special. Vista is going to be exciting for those that have tried Oceania over the years. And we've got people that have done 20, 30, 40 cruises with us, and a few more. And we find that offering something new and exciting during the experience is one thing, but then to offer new ships with a new style, an evolution on what we've already got, it's going to be fresh. There's going to be a lot of reckonings and acknowledgement of the way cruising has changed over the years. More restaurants, more dining areas, more culinary experiences. There's some things that I know are coming which I can't talk about right now, but I can tell you that it won't be long. It'll be in the next, we go on sale on the 15th of September. So before we go on sale, we'll be revealing a bit more. But when you look at the comfort element and the home away from home feel that we like to deliver, or we strive to deliver, that it comes to the fore with Vista. You've got more nicely tucked away little areas. You've got restaurants that don't have this expansive cruise ship style feel about them that we have in our grand dining room on the O class and the R class. Even the grand dining room it looks slightly different when you go on board Vista. In addition to that, she's about the same size as the O-class ships at 65,000 tons. She has fewer guests, slightly fewer guests, and again, more crew. So the thing is that the ratios will be improved. The guest staterooms are something else. We actually have a small number of solo staterooms on board the Vista and the new ships, and also the decor in the bedrooms is something else. It's light, it's airy, it's elegant as well, and it's just like as I said, an evolution on from where we were. And again, we've enhanced the already amazing Prestige Tranquility mattress. So there's nothing to stop anybody getting an amazing night's sleep.
Great. Yeah, you always get a good night's sleep on Oceania. That's for sure. Those beds are so comfortable. But Bernie, just wanted to say thank you so much for giving up your time. It's been a treat to speak to you today, and thanks again for your support. Really appreciate it.
Oh, James, listen, it's my pleasure to be here, and thank you for your support. Thank your customers, your guests for their support. To everybody, we're coming back to this together. It's a long journey. Yes, there will be bumps in the way, but we will overcome and we will come back.
Excellent. Cheers, Bernie. See you soon.
Take care. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.